All right, good evening, crafters. So what we're going to do tonight is glitter some wine glasses and a shot glass as well. So I'm going to do the Saints Girl 3-piece set that I usually sell. So right now what you see is I mark my wine glasses first with just a marker, and then I tape where I do not want any glitter or epoxy to be at. So now I'm just going to wipe the marker off before I start to epoxy it. So this one here is going to be a peekaboo tumbler. So I put the vinyl here at the bottom on the outside, because when you glitter it, you're going to be able to see it through here, as you can see. And so I usually leave the tape on until I put my first layer of epoxy on, and then I just pull it off immediately before it dries, before it even starts to dry. Actually, while it's still on the turner. And here's the shot glass I'm going to use. All right, so if you're familiar with Mod Podge, you know there's different types. And I'm going to use the dishwasher safe. I always have better results. I used this one before, and it seemed like it would just took a long time to dry. But sometimes I use this one here as a finish. I usually like the spray, the Mod Podge spray as a finish, but if I'm out of it, then I use that. So what I do is I just pour some Mod Podge in a cup. I don't have any plastic cups, so I'm going to use the cup that I usually will pour or mix my epoxy in. Then of course we have the infamous sponge. I'll start off with a shot glass. I always do the sides, and then I do the bottom last, because I'll turn it over. But as you can see, I have cardstock laying around. Usually I just use the white cardstock because I have more of the white than any, but it was all the way at the bottom of my shelf, so I just using this one. But I use that so it can pick up the glitter that I don't use. And I always do 2 coats of glitter. I do 2 coats. And for the bottom, like I said, I do that last. So after I glitter these 2, then I go to the bottom of the glass. It's actually been about 7-8 months since I've done glitter glasses. I actually had them removed out of my shop for a while because we moved and I didn't want to deal with the whole epoxy process. But then I listed them again, and customers have been requesting them since Christmas. So now I'm just started my YouTube channel, so I thought I'd record. This was my favorite. This is what I started off with when I was crafting, is glitter glasses. I just love glitter. Didn't realize how much I love glitter until then. Okay, so I'm done glittering the first coats, and then I'll go back over it with a second, sometimes maybe even a third coat. I'll let this dry. And the directions on the Mod Podge bottle may say to let it dry for about 30 minutes to an hour, but I always let mine dry for about an hour, hour and a half, sometimes even 2. Okay, so they're all glittered up. So I let them dry for like 1.5 to 2 hours. Instructions on the bottle may say 30 minutes to an hour, but mine never are dry in that amount of time. So I'm not following the directions on this one. All right. Like I said, I'll put a second coat on. So after I put the second coat on and let that dry, then I'll show you all the epoxy process, how I do it. Okay, everybody, I'm back and about to start the epoxy process. So as you can see, I am wearing protective gear, my gloves, as well as a mask, because I do not like to breathe in the fumes from the epoxy. I am in my garage, but I do have the door open. Alright, so I have the epoxy here mixed up and ready to go. I'm using a total of 30 milliliters. I use the little medicine cups to measure out part A and part B, and then I'll mix them together. And just a little small little cup, big enough to hold it, because you definitely don't want it to overflow. So you want to stir it real good, get out the air bubbles. Sometimes I'll use a heat gun if I feel the need to help out with the air bubbles. But in this case, I don't feel like I need it. There's a piece of glitter in there. Okay, give me 1 second, my rotator stopped. Okay, so earlier today I was messing around with this and I actually took the screw out, and yeah, I didn't put it back in, and I guess I should have. But here we go. So I always start off with just one coat, and then once it's dry or almost dry, then I come back in with another coat. I usually actually let it sit on this spinner for about 24 hours before I even mess with it. Since I'm going to lay a print and cut image on top of this one, I'm going to put the image after it dries completely. Then I'm going to put the image on top and then go over it again with a second layer of epoxy. And some people don't seal the glitter with epoxy. Some will use some type of spray sealant, but I like for the glitter to basically be one, as I explained it, be one with the glass, so you don't feel any glitter. I'm hoping y'all can hear me as I'm speaking through this mask. It reminds me of my military mask that I wear. But when I wear this for sublimation as well, and that way I don't smell anything, because without it I can smell it all. And that's the reason that I quit messing with epoxy for a minute, because those fumes was getting to me at some point. Well, basically just gave me a headache. I was wearing a mask before, but I guess it wasn't the right one. But this one here, I will leave the link below. I love it. Okay, so 30 was exactly enough for these two glasses here. I do have some tumblers that I need to go ahead and epoxy. I have about 2 or 3 more cup turners in my other storage area, but I really don't want to set those up. All right, here we go. So like I said, I'll let those spin on here for about 24 hours, and then I'll come back and finish the process. Okay, so now that the glasses have dried, or the epoxy has dried, now I'm going to place the sticker on this glass here. I forgot to leave this piece out. Okay. And whatever you do, you want to be sure that you don't scratch your vinyl. Just make sure it's laid on there flat, because if there's any pieces of your printable vinyl that's not laid flat, then the epoxy is just going to go right through it. The epoxy is not going to lay it flat for you. So I just rub my fingers across with gloves on, make it easier for me not to scratch it with my fingernails. And just make sure every piece is just laid flat. Okay, that's fine. You'll barely be able to see it once it's covered with the glitter and epoxy. Okay, so now it's ready. Get back on the spinner. Alright, so I've already mixed up the epoxy. And I always, when I do these glasses with printable vinyl on top, I always like to put a little bit, just a dash of glitter inside, so that there's a little bit of glitter overlay on top of the vinyl. You can always add as little or as much as you want. And for the second go round, so I only have a total of 20 ounces, or I'm sorry, 20 milliliters of epoxy, simply because it's already epoxied. So there's not any rough edges or rough pieces. So I won't need as much, because the glitter is already made to be one, quote unquote, with a glass. And just smooth it on out there. As you can see, the tape is off of here. Oh, I didn't show you in the last segment, but I forgot to show you how I took the tape off. I literally just, as it's spinning, I just carefully and slowly remove the tape, so that way I don't mess up and mess around. I mean, I may get a little bit of vinyl around these edges or on the glass itself, but it's fine. I just take my X-Acto knife at the end once it's fully dry and cut that epoxy right on off before I add my rhinestones. So I'll let this go. I don't need a full 24 hours. And honestly, 8 hours is probably enough just for you to add 8 hours is probably enough just for you to go ahead and add the second coat in between layers. But I just let it go for 24 hours sometimes. But this second coat, I just let dry for about 8 hours before I come back and add the rhinestones. And then I have to add a decal to the smaller one. And wipe it off with alcohol real good, and we're good to go. It'll be ready to ship tomorrow. But you just always want to make sure that it's fully dry and cured before you even hand it off to your customer or whomever, or use it for yourself, whatever you decide to do. Because if it's not fully dry, you get fingerprints on it or anything, that's fingerprints, like mold, you know. Fingerprints is going to be on the glass, and you have to sand it down, basically possibly start over, because even if you sand it down after the epoxy is already on it, it's going to look dry. It's going to look dry. The sanded portion is going to look dry, and you don't want that. How do I know? Because I did it before. You have to start over. there we go. So I'll let that go. Well, like I said, about 8 hours. And I'll get back with you. Okay, here we go, you all. So what I didn't show you, but I've already I've taken my X-Acto knife and I've already scraped off the epoxy that dripped around the glass where we don't want it. It's nice and dry, but after I scrape it off with the epoxy, I always take acetone and paper towel and rub the smears off of it because they'll melt the epoxy. And then after that, I rub alcohol on the glasses, let it dry, and now we're ready to apply the vinyl. So I'm going to start off with this glass here. And if you're not trying to learn how to apply vinyl to the glass, then I'm hoping you did learn about the epoxy, the glitter and epoxy. Okay, yes, perfect. Okay, we got that on. So I only epoxy the 2 glasses. I did not epoxy the shot glass. I never do. I spray it with clear sealer to have the glitter dry. I don't have a cup turner that's small enough. I actually tried looking for one. No luck, so I'm not sure if that even exists. So before I did make my own little shot glass spinner, but then it was so much trouble, so then I quit. So I just started spraying it because I'm not applying anything to that glitter. It's a small shot glass, so everything works out. Customers still love it, so we're good there. All right. So this is where I have to be extra careful with. Just want to make sure it lines up perfectly. I'll feel the glass slipping away. Oh, Lord. Okay, bear with me, you all. Bear with me. Okay. We got it. I'll just smooth this out. You always want to slowly pull that vinyl off because until it's fully set, you can peel off. Okay, we have this one out of the way. I didn't wipe this shot glass off after I sprayed it with the sealant. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some alcohol and wipe it really quick. I don't need to scrape any epoxy off because, like I said, I did not use any for the shot glass. And yes, the glitter is dry. Now, what you hear me scraping off is the sealant, so I didn't cover it up like I usually would do. I didn't cover the glass up where I didn't want the spray to touch, but it's fine. I can just scrape this off and then follow it with some alcohol, and it'll be fine. Usually, I would use the shorter, the 1 ounce, I believe, but the smaller, shorter, I'll say, shot glasses, but Lately I hadn't been able to find any, so I have like a whole case of these that I've been using. I got these from Amazon a while ago. I'm still using them because, like I said, I actually did so much sublimation that I just kind of neglected my glitter because I wasn't planning on getting back to it until I moved again, which will be in a couple of months. But yeah, y'all, I just love glitter. I miss my glitter, so I'm back. After the vinyl has set for a couple of hours, I always run over it one more time with alcohol, and then that's it. I'm be ready to package it up and send it off. Oh goodness. Okay, now all I have to do is apply the rhinestones, and then we're all set. But I just love her. Okay, so to apply the rhinestones, I always take some E6000 glue. Usually I will purchase the bigger tubes, but I just purchased this 4-pack here from Target because I don't think I'll be, like I said, I'm moving in a few months, so I don't want to have all this leftover stuff like I always do and then end up throwing it away and buy it again. So yes, this is just how I do. All right. So the first time I did this, I actually used super glue. Do not ever use super glue. So I used super glue and I let the glass sit for a couple days because, again, that's my first time doing it. I wanted to try everything out before I decided to sell anything on my site. So not good. So what happened was it dried up around, oh shoot, that's fine. Acetone will clear that up. It dried out around the glass and it made like white residue. So do not ever do that. Don't use super glue. Lesson learned. But this glue, I use this for my rhinestone glasses as well as putting rhinestones on shoes. I love the beaded lambed out shoes. They're very time consuming, which is why I only did them for my wedding. I had to do 5 pairs for my wedding, and I don't think I want to do them for customers because they're very time consuming, which a lot of this handcraft is, but maybe I'll later time I'll change my mind. I'm hoping you all can see this. So I'm going around and make sure everything's straight. As straight as it can possibly be. And I'll just take my scissors. I'll let this dry completely before I go in and wipe it off. That way I don't smear anything. Oh my gosh, I just love her. Yeah, I purchased these rhinestone rolls from Amazon. I have silver, black, gold, red, and a purple. I mostly only use the silver actually. I found something to do with the others. I've had it for about a year. I have ideas in my head and I go to buying things and it takes me forever to even get to using it. So I just noticed as I'm doing this that the tube that I purchased off of Amazon, it is large, very large. I think it's 4 ounce, a 4 ounce or a 2 ounce tube. But it has the pointy end. Can't think of what it's called right now. But it's pointy. This one is not, and the pointy one is much easier. So I see there's a difference. I mean, the glue still works the same, but it's just the process. It's much smoother. I can just go around the glass with a pointy edge with no problem with a bigger one, but it's fine. It's gonna still work. I will still meet the intent, and that's what I want. Now again, I'm hoping you all did learn something from this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I will do my best to answer to the best of my ability, but please ask. This handcrafting is definitely a process. When I started out watching YouTube during COVID, just watching YouTube, and I was like, wonder if I can do that. That looks fun. I needed something to make my time go by, especially since we started working from home. No complaints here though. Trying to find one long enough for the shot glass. I don't want it to be too short. And after everything dries, I will clean it up and then we will be complete. So as always, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I just started my YouTube channel. Not many videos posted at all, but I'm trying to get there. I wish I would have been recording myself, but kept procrastinating. But it is fun. Okay, so I'm kind of glad this happened, because now I can show you what I do when this does happen. So you see this here? I accidentally cut through a rhinestone. It's fine. I have plenty of rhinestones left. So what I always do is I just cut one off from a strip. Take my tweezers and just set that little piece in here. There we go. So again, once everything is dry, I will go back in and clean it up. But done, done, and done. Thank you all again.